pretty sure I've already been on the record this year saying that the Sabres might not win 20 games. Holy fuck was I wrong. This team is good. I've said it probably 13 to 14 times between like the 3 games. So I'll give it 3 hours each. 9 hours I've said, close to 3 times an hour. 15, 30, 45. Is that 3 times an hour at 9 hours?
I wasn't
9
listening.
times
I'm
3.
not a horse,
no, it's
Matthew. I
27.
can't do
9
that.
times
man.
3, 27.
I don't know. I don't know where my numbers just came up. Whatever. They are playing so good right now for like very little. Like there is a reason. Like I don't know how deep you want me to get into it.
Aren't they all young bucks? Like for the most part, it's a very, very young
That's
team.
what it seems.
Yeah, I mean we do have I think we have like the 6th youngest team in the NHL, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because it's kind of a cliche that people try to use professional sports to debunk.
Yeah.
But if you really do it and do it well, it'll never be debunked, right? Like you just have to. Doesn't matter, talent wise. Like if you just do the little things and like play the right way, literally it's Mighty Ducks. They're playing Mighty Duck style hockey right now. Like if you just simplify the game, like take it and look at it in its rawest form and think like, okay, if we just all do our jobs consistently, it doesn't matter who we play, right? You just have to do your job. And right now, every single player on the Sabres, top to bottom, is doing their job, which is something that is hard to accomplish. It's almost like, obviously it's only 3 games into the season. I'm not going to go crazy and talk about, Don Granato, Donnie Meatballs. He's the Sabres head coach right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he was interim head coach at the end of the year last year, and they started to play better, although they were still shit and their season was over before it even started.
Yeah.
They started to play better. So now they had, the end of last season, all off season, training camp, all that stuff to kind of get a grasp as to what he's trying to preach to them. And it seems to be working, right? They're just playing hockey at the most basic form of like, do your job. If everybody does their job, we win games. And it's working phenomenally right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most exciting hockey I've seen them play in a really, really long time. And I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm almost glad you did because I was at the game last night, and their attendance has been horrible to start the season. Like opening night, not even 50% of the stadium was full. Like not a great look, but last night was the most electric I've seen a crowd at a Sabres game in years. Like it was a blast. It wasn't packed, but it was loud. Everybody there was into it. It was so much fun. And it's like, I think, and again, I'm not going to go too far and start comparing it to like what we've got going on the football side of Buffalo, but it's hopefully, based off of what I've seen the first 3 games, it can become a culture thing where the team continues to do this and wins even though they aren't expected to, right? Because when you do stuff like that, even though you might not have that big name, you give other guys an opportunity to find roles that they didn't know they had to fill, right? And it kind of can turn into this snowball effect where all of a sudden everybody buys in, right? And that's what I mean to say. You look at a league like the NBA, like nobody believes in that system in the NBA because these all-stars kind of just bounce around to whatever team they want. They make these super teams. That's not really a thing in hockey. Like, there's obviously teams that are better than others, but if you can get everybody on board with doing the right things, you can win a lot of hockey games. So I'm excited. I hope that it continues going. I think that a lot of people, that are, like, hockey, like, acquaintances, you know what I mean? Like, they're not hockey fans. They know the Sabres exist. They'll be like, they all assume because everything that they heard before the season started that they were going to be the worst team in the NHL, all of this stuff, that the Sabres were going to suck. And I think that's a big reason why, even though they've been playing unbelievable hockey through three games, they still, like, their attendance still hasn't gotten bumped up. For the people out there that don't really watch that much hockey, that assume the Sabres are going to suck, that's not the case right now. Like, they're fun to watch. They're exciting to watch. They're 3-0. Everybody on the team's playing well. So I'd like to, encourage people to spend the $35, go fucking watch the Sabres game in person because, this team's good. Team's good.
I like
for
that.
now. There's always that possibility of the rapid decline. But 3 games in, undefeated. So
Love it.
You kind of said something about this, but it is interesting how, before the season even started, a lot of people had this team written off. And it's weird when you compare that to the Bills, right? Because when the Bills were bad for so long, everybody still was super
Bills are
ride
gonna
or
be
die
good
with
this year.
them.
Yeah.
You know, and we've never had that for the Sabers. That same thing. Do you think
the
that that's just like the nature of hockey?
This might sound crazy to people that the Bills were never ever as bad as like the Sabers when the Sabers are bad, right? Like the Sabers have been bad. Like
Do you
like
think
the Bills, there was a lot of years where the Bills weren't good, but it was like, oh, we could still beat the Dolphins, and like, oh, the Jags are still going 0-16 or whatever. Like the Bills were never that bad. The Bills, would always get 5-6 wins, maybe even almost get to 8, and then like lose at the end of the season. And that's more how football is, right? It's more not over the board competitive, but you only play, well, at the time, 16 games, one a week, and it's any given Sunday, right? That's what they say. In hockey, you play 82 games. So good teams have the opportunity to, they're still going to lose games to bad teams, but over the season, they have the opportunity to show that they're better, and worse teams have the opportunity over a long season to show that they're significantly worse.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So when you look at how bad the Sabres have been, like the Bills were never that bad. The Sabres were very, very, very bad.
And that all just comes down to, though, the nature of both of those games and how they're played at the professional level,
Yeah.
the way those leagues are structured.